Listen, if you want to stop here, I'll tell you this up front. Terra Nil is a good video game, and you should play it. There. I guess that's the video. But if you're still here, I'm assuming you want to know what Terra Nil is and why it's a good video game. And I'm assuming that you're waiting for me to narrate my feelings into a microphone. And boy, do I have feelings. Terra Nil is a city builder. Well, the developers call it a reverse city builder because unlike other city building games or the similar subgenre of factory building games, Terra Nil doesn't ask you to exploit a planet for its resources in order to construct something. Instead, it tasks the player with restoring a barren planet that's already been stripped down by human exploitation. In a genre that either avoids this topic or attempts to criticize something about humanity's desire to build, Terra Nil looks at the climate crisis head-on and attempts to fight the apathy and gloom with wonder and beauty. At least that's how lead artist Jonathan Hao Yoon put it in an interview with Game Rant. Terra Nil is published by Devolver Digital and developed by South African developer Free Lives. To be totally honest, this is a Devolver game is so wild to me. From them, I usually expect slightly edgy, often cute, slightly dark, and somewhat violent games. Games that I enjoy. But Devolver publishing something this earnest was a surprise to me. Maybe it's that the developer Free Lives has a pre-existing relationship with Devolver. Maybe these are the kinds of games Free Lives make. Let's see. Free Lives has published several games with Devolver, okay. Games like The Expendabros, Broforce, Gorn, and Genital Jousting. Seriously, what the fuck is up with this game? Where did it come from? The answer is that Terra Nil was originally a Game Jam game, made for the well-known Game Jam Ludum Dare. This is how Free Lives games all get started. They make a game for a Game Jam, put the prototype up on itch for free, and if they do well, they turn it into a full game. That's probably where we'll call it boundless creativity comes from. It's just that this time, the Game Jam environment didn't give Sam Alfred, the prototype's original developer, the creativity to be super raunchy or absurdly violent. This time, it gave him the chance to be earnest. I'll admit, it was a YouTube trailer that got me to play this game. The game's available on Steam and via Netflix on mobile, and Netflix is putting a lot of effort into the marketing for Terra Nil. I'd seen a couple people talk about it when it came out on the 28th, and when my husband and I were scrolling YouTube while we ate, we watched the trailer. Honestly, something about the music and the art, and weirdly the fact that there were deer in the game, made me weepy. The game's idea that not everything had to be so bleak all the time, that maybe we could undo some of the things we've done to our Earth, made me want to play. So I picked it up, and I started playing on Twitch. If there's one thing that Terra Nil gets right, it's vibe. Between art, music, and sound design, this game immediately chilled me out. I feel like the term cozy game is a marketing term at this point, but if that describes the kind of games you like, look no further. You found your next play. I'll admit that I had no interest in playing this game on hard mode or even normal mode. They call their easy mode Gardener, and that's the one that I picked. As I understand it, there are some crunchier mechanics for those of you that like that kind of thing, but I wasn't going to enjoy my time if I was worrying about currency the whole time. I mean, come on, this is power fantasy idealist ecosystem restoration. Terra Nil starts you out in their River Valley area as a tutorial. There's 4 biomes in total. There's a temperate biome, a tropical biome, a polar biome, and a continental biome. And there are 2 areas within each of them. Each restoration sees you starting out in a space that is completely barren. Terra Nil might drop you into a toxic river, a melted glacier, or a flooded city. And you spend your time trying to restore that place, not to the state it was in when people lived there, but to a more natural state. We're going to put aside questions of what the natural state of Earth is. I don't have the energy for that conversation today. To return the Earth to its former glory, you'll start by cleansing your piece of land of whatever ails it and by reintroducing vegetation. The game accomplishes this kind of with some magic. You're building tools on Earth that probably couldn't exist in the real world, but the actions that you take will affect the area's climate, the humidity, and the temperature. And as you work, wildlife will return, rains will begin again, nature begins to take shape again. Once you've cleansed an area, the game asks you to introduce some biodiversity to a space, and it gives you tools to create the appropriate types of ecosystem. The polar biomes require tundra and forests. The continental biomes ask you to build lagoons and bamboo fields. You build buildings, but those buildings are in service of reclaiming the land. And in fact, once you've completed your goals, once all the appropriate wildlife and plant life are there and the climate is just right, the game asks you to recycle everything you've built and to pack it all up and leave. In reviews I've read and from talking to friends about the game, some people struggle with the recycling stage, simply from a mechanical standpoint. If there's any design issue with this game, it's probably there. You can easily get to a state where you started out doing things one way, but when it comes time to recycle what you've built, you don't have enough power, or a couple of your recycling stations are out of range. But playing on easy, I was usually able to fix this with minimal extra effort. And the game's commitment to the stewardship of its in-game planet spoke to me more than these issues bothered me. Terra Nil is the first game this year to really grip me. I'd been telling my friends that I was surprised it hadn't happened yet. In fact, I have half a script written called Games Aren't Hitting right now. This year, I've mostly been keeping myself busy replaying Marvel's Midnight Suns and skipping the cutscenes in Fire Emblem Engage, but despite really enjoying Season and Paranormasight, no 2023 game has spoken to me the way some of my favorite games have. Don't worry, I said in Discord the other day, some indie will drop on a Thursday at 1:45 p.m. and I'll be ruined. Terra Nil came out the next morning. So go play the game, y'all. It's really good. I'll see y'all next time.